For the eternal law is that there is no light without shade, no white without black, for the absolute can only exist as two gods, darkness being necessary for light to serve as its foil. Thus the doctrine of Satanism is a heresy, and the pure philosophical religion is the belief in Lucifer, the equal of God of light and God of good." Unquote. At first blush, this sounds contradictory. Lucifer is God, but Satanism is a heresy? But consider this. Satan is not a name. It is a title, an epithet. It means adversary. Pike is actually saying something quite profound, that Lucifer is not his adversary. He's his deity. The heresy in his mind is that someone would call Lucifer the adversary. Okay, it's time for a reality check.
Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also transform themselves into ministers of righteousness, whose end will be according to their works. 2 Corinthians 11:14 and 15.
There is only one true light, and his name is Yahweh. Evil disguised as righteousness will receive evil's reward. I hope I've successfully conveyed the concept that the harlot of Babylon could have a whole range of manifestations. It's potentially anything and everything that Yahweh would consider a false system of worship. That is, something that would systematically violate any of the first three commandments. 1, you shall have no other gods before Yahweh. 2, you shall not make, bow down to, nor serve any image of any created thing. And 3, you shall not accept or advance anything that is false, deceptive, or destructive in Yahweh's name, or associate these things with his character, which is what the Hebrew that's translated, "take the name in vain," means. We commonly, and unwittingly I hope, break these three commandments on our own. That's bad enough. But when people band together to worship false gods in groups, they are manifesting the spirit of Babylon. Satan knows how to use group dynamics to get us to do things we wouldn't normally do, just because the crowd is doing them. That makes religion one of the most popular flavors of Babylon bouillabaisse. Others, equally fishy, are politics and commerce. The recipe for this evil brew is 1 part deception, 1 part pride, and a pinch of greed. You can substitute with lust if you like. Let it simmer over hell fire until it's half-baked, and serve it up neither cold nor hot. It tastes terrible and it's horribly expensive, but people eat it because the critics say it's wonderful and they don't want their friends to think they can't afford it. Besides, it sure looks better than the Christian diet. All they get is the bread of life and living water. Just as the world will come together as one politically during the tribulation, it will also come together in matters of faith. Once the Christians are gone, religion will be more a matter of style than anything else. I have a feeling that the world's religions will begin to see themselves during this time not as separate entities, but merely as different denominations in one great faith, different ways to reach heavenly enlightenment. If this new old superfaith is given a name, it will be called Babylon, or ought to be. Proselytizing will become the epitome of bad form, perhaps even illegal. It already is in many places. Because it will be a universally accepted fact that there is no such thing as absolute truth. Therefore, there is no wrong way to reach God. This, of course, will pit Laodicean Christians, that's Gentiles saved after the rapture, and Jews looking for their Messiah against the whole rest of the world. Claiming to have a Savior implies that, 1, you need to be saved, and by extension it says your fellow man must need salvation too, that we are all creatures whose sins have separated us from God. And 2, there is something from which we need to be saved. Both of these propositions will be considered heresy against the universal Babylonian doctrine, constituting the crime of religious terrorism, sort of like disturbing the peace on steroids. And the appearance of keeping the peace is what it's all about in the post-rapture world. No one may say or even suggest that they have a corner on truth. As Pontius Pilate once asked, "What is truth?" In these dark days, no one may imply that there is a God who defines righteousness. There is, of course, one slight problem with this doctrine. It's completely wrong. Shortly after the Exodus, two of the elite of Israelite society, the Illuminati of their day, so to speak, found out the hard way.
Then Nadab and Abihu, the sons of the high priest Aaron, each took his censer and put fire in it, put incense on it, and offered profane fire before Yahweh, which he had not commanded them. So fire went out from Yahweh and devoured them, and they died before Yahweh. And Moses said to Aaron, "This is what Yahweh spoke, saying, By those who come near me I must be regarded as set apart, and before all people I must be glorified." Leviticus 10:1-3.
That statement reveals the false heart of the whore of Babylon. She makes a show of coming near to God, but she does not regard him as holy or set apart. Instead, she gathers people together and glorifies herself. If I had a lawyer, he would be quite alarmed by this point, so I'd better tell you what he would tell me. I'm not advocating any pre-rapture course of action designed to thwart or hinder the whore of Babylon. Don't go out and do rash things like letting the air out of the tires of the Shriners' little cars or blowing up the UN building. Yahweh is perfectly capable of taking care of his own interests, and he doesn't need your unsolicited assistance. He has told us to do only one thing.
Flee from the midst of Babylon, and every one save his life. Do not be cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. Jeremiah 51:6.
Take a good hard look at your life. Are you part of something that promotes a false image of Yahweh? Do your traditions carry more weight than the words of your God? If you find yourself living in Babylon, there's only one thing to do. Flee.